Yo, what's going on, guys? So this league, a lot of people are having issues with the difficulty of the game. People are stuck in white or yellow maps, mostly because of Arch Nemesis monsters just being a very hard thing to kill. On top of that, people are reporting that they're having less drops overall from mapping. So I decided to make a video about my top currency making strategies that you can still go for right now, even with the higher difficulty and with less drops from mapping. So it's gonna be 4 strategies that are pretty easy to do. Some of them you might require a little bit of gear, but not too much. Generally, they are made for weaker characters. And then 4 strategies that you can go for, basically something you can strive for to eventually do. And once you have a good character, you can make a lot of money with them, even with the lower drops from normal mapping. And then I'm gonna also mention some honorable mentions, just something that I don't really know too much about. I don't have that much data, but you can probably watch some other streamers or videos about them, and they are probably also still decent. Okay, so first thing is probably not a surprise to you, is Heist. When you are gonna turn on Twitch, you're gonna probably see like 1/3 of the streamers doing Heist, and especially Spicy Sushi, he has been a lot of success with the Heist. And if the league right now resetted and we just started the league today, I definitely can tell you that what I would be doing is I would just go straight up for Heist. It's just extremely good right now. You can do few things with Heist. You can do just endless heisting, which basically means you would stop the game at level 68 and you would just buy heist contracts from a vendor, and you would just run them endlessly with a super fast character like a Raider, even something like Berserker. Like my character is pretty fast, so you can do it. Then you can move on to some normal heisting, like just from heist contracts level 70 plus, and use blueprints with item level 81 plus. You want to use blueprints with 81 plus because then they have better rewards and more rooms. And obviously, eventually, once you have enough gear and so on, you can just do high level contracts and blueprints. But yeah, Heist is just right now very good. In case you're wondering on like details how to do it, just type in YouTube or Google endless Heist. You're gonna find a lot of guides how to do it. Okay, if you don't like Heist, because to be honest, a lot of people just don't like Heist, I have a very nice alternative for you, which is something I actually did this league, because when I was around yellow maps, I realized that I don't have that I need a little bit of gear, so it was too late to just go back to endless Heist, so I went for this strategy, and that strategy is farming blighted maps. In terms of blighted maps, it's gonna be very similar like Heist, because you're gonna make most of your profit from Chaos Recipe. So what you can do is you can just buy blighted maps, any tier, so tier 1, tier 2, they should be pretty easy to do, and you can buy them for like 5 Chaos. Eventually you should try to buy tiers 6 plus, because then you're gonna drop teal oils from them. And to improve the strategy, the most important thing is time. So if you're gonna use 2 teal oils, maybe 1 amber to reduce the difficulty, or maybe just 3 teal oils, it's gonna be much faster to do them. And to sustain your teal oils, you're probably gonna have to do at least tier 6 plus. And if you notice the price, it's not that much more expensive, just 1 more chaos, and you can do a higher tier ones. And they are, to be honest, pretty easy for most of the characters. You can rely on your towers. You can just go for stunning towers, scout towers with ring enchant. I actually don't have them right now here, but I had it on my old rings. This one. Scout towers have increased damage, and scout towers have increased range. This is pretty cheap. These are pretty cheap annoyance, and they can help you a lot. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna mostly make your profit, like I said, with Chaos Recipe. Every single blighted map is gonna have at least 1 jewelry chest, which means it's gonna be like 4 jewelry chests from that lane. Very often you're gonna get like 8, 12 and more. You're gonna get a ton of Chaos Recipe. Very often you're gonna get 5 or more Chaos Recipe just from 1 map, and most of the time you're gonna have to use all of your portals to get all of the items out of blighted maps. Blighted ones can also be pretty annoying, just like Heist. It's probably not for everyone, but it is a very chill way to make a currency, and to be honest, pretty easy. And it scales pretty well with your gear, because eventually, like I said, you can move on to yellow ones and you can use steel oils. I probably would not even go for red ones. I would just stick with yellows and do them with steel oils, as many of them as possible per hour, and just do chaos recipe. Because to be honest, if you go for higher ones, you're gonna the most important thing you're gonna get is the oils from higher tier ones, and golden oils are only like 38C right now, so it's probably not worth it. So yeah, that's my second choice. And third choice would be actually a Bestiary. Bestiary is actually right now in a very good spot. When you look at these scarabs, Bestiary scarabs, say like 5 at least in bulk, you can buy them for like 2 chaos rusted scarabs. So each map is gonna cost you 2 chaos. And polished 3, maybe 4, it's probably still worth it. And when you're gonna do the maps, the Bestiary, you can do it in white maps. Most of the best red beasts are actually can spawn in white maps. Only few of them you need higher tier ones. So this is the reason why it's a very easy strategy. You can just do it in white maps. If you have a little bit of gear, maybe level like, let's say like 75, 80, you shouldn't really have issues with killing beasts in white maps. And you don't even have to rely on any RNG or anything like that, because most of the time you're gonna get like 5 yellow beasts from one map. And if we look at the Bestiary Discord, so here you can see when you're gonna be selling them, you can sell most of the time 1 yellow beast for like 2 chaos. Trying to search for someone that is selling a lot of beasts. It looks like right now it's a little bit less than 2 C per one, but some people are still selling them for 2 C per one. But you have to remember that when you're gonna sell yellow beasts, you're gonna have to put them in orbs in your menagerie, which is also gonna cost you 1 C, which basically means you make 1 C profit per yellow beast. And like I said, you're probably gonna get around 5 of them per map, which means each map is gonna profit you 5 chaos at least, just from yellow beasts, without counting any red maps, any red beasts. And when we look at the prices of scarabs, it's obviously just pure profit. So if you're gonna buy the rusted, it's gonna be at least 3 C profit per map, and white maps you can buy for very cheap, probably like half a C per map. So like I already said, just from the yellow beasts are gonna make a lot of money. On top of that, from time to time, you're gonna drop things like Cry Chimeral, which right now is worth 0.2 divine, just like 25 chaos, or Phenomenal Plague Arachnid, which is very good for expedition for logbooks, 0.4 divines, which is like 50C. So yeah, you can make quite a lot of money from on top of that from red beasts. And I actually was considering doing this strategy. If I didn't go for invitation, I actually was thinking about going for Bestiary. And obviously, if you're gonna go for Bestiary, just go for all of the Bestiary nodes. So here you're gonna get, from time to time, you're gonna get a ton of beasts in one map. On top of that, here just some additional beasts, additional Einhar mission, which lets you pay less for your maps, basically get some free Einhar missions from time to time. And here you can increase chances for some other beasts. And that's probably the most common question I get about Bestiary, is which beasts to go for. And to be honest, it is pretty hard to say right now. It really depends on the economy. With current prices, I probably would go for the caverns because of the prices of Phenomenal Plague Arachnids, but it can change very fast. Maybe Cry Chimeral are gonna go up in price. But yeah, right now I probably would go for the caverns. The Crabs Cobra combo is not as expensive this league because exalts are pretty cheap, so Wilds and Suns are probably not the best, and you can still go for the deep for Chimerals, and obviously you want to get the less common varieties. So that's the Bestiary strategy. And like I already said, you can just do it in white maps. It should be pretty easy to do. The only issue is, I guess, if you don't like putting your beasts in orbs and selling them on TFT. Okay, so let's move on to the next one, which is the Heist, but not farming Heist, just doing it in maps and just getting your free money from smuggler caches. And this is what I did to make quite a lot of currency. You pay 6 chaos per 2 smuggler caches. On top of that, you can block everything else except for this one, get stream of consciousness, get some additional chance for heist from these passives. So here, here, and here. On top of that, sometimes you're gonna get full revealed blueprints. If you complete also the quests that you get from the that you have to do with certain followers, eventually you're also gonna start dropping unique contracts, which you also can sell. And you can do this actually on top of that even in white maps. From what I've seen, or even yellow maps, some people are actually selling, when you look at the TFT, some people are selling lower level contracts. Here we can see 68 plus, 68 plus, deception 6C, 2C for normal ones. You're gonna make your money just from contracts and the markers, and most of the time you're gonna get like 400, 500 markers. And when you get the blueprints, you can get some additional profit. But for blueprints, it's gonna be very good if you're gonna go for high tier maps. So you can, if you feel like it, you can even probably just buy a bunch of tier 14 maps. Let's look at the maps prices. Maybe someone is selling normal maps in bulk. These are lower than tier 14. This guy, for example, tier 14 plus 3C each, and he has more than 100. So you can pay 3 chaos per map. On top of that, you pay 6 chaos for heist, and you don't even have to kill any monsters, right? You just enter a map, search for the 2 smuggler caches, maybe search for the 3rd one, and leave. And this way you pay 9 chaos per map. But I did some calculations, and even doing it this way, if you have a very fast character, you should still make profit. But if you're gonna, on top of that, let's say kill a map boss, and you're gonna get some additional profit from Searing Exarch and Guardian maps, it's gonna be very nice. But like I said, this is a strategy that you can do on a low budget of your gear. Just do it in yellow, white maps and sell low tier contracts, or you can eventually do it in tier 14s without killing anything, or with map boss, and maybe even with something like essences. Okay, so these are like 4 strategies that I would do early on. But now let's me move on to the harder strategies, which you can do in the end game once you have already good character. And first one, which is what I'm doing right now, which is the invitations. So for invitation, you pretty much just need a very high single target, just kill guardians. It doesn't really matter if you're gonna kill Shaper, Elder, or Conqueror guardians, all of them are profitable, and use all of the Maven passives and Height of Hubris. Obviously, this might increase the difficulty by a lot, so maybe you can remove either this one or this one to reduce their difficulty, but you pretty much always are gonna make like 100C profit per invitation set, because you are paying like 15-20C per map, and you're gonna get that money back mostly from the fragments, because thanks to the inevitable ambush, you're gonna get sometimes second fragments, and this is gonna be basically paying just for the maps. You're gonna lose a little bit of money probably, but then you're gonna buy the invitations probably for like 30C, and from invitations you're gonna most of the time drop like 7 splinters of Maven, which you can sell for around 100 chaos, which is basically 70C profit. On top of that, you're gonna get some additional guardian maps, maybe some other items, some LG currency, and so on, like Orb of Conflicts. So yeah, that's basically invitations. And next one is Simulacrums. Simulacrums are right now in a very good spot. You can make a lot of money from it, not only from drops, but also from leveling gems. If you have been watching my channel for a while, you probably know that I'm a very big fan of this strategy. I just haven't done it this league because I just have been doing it for a very long time, a lot of leagues in a row, so I decided to take a break from it, but it's definitely a good strategy. And if you look at the prices of Simulacrums right now, oh, website is broken. Let me refresh. well, I can't access a website right now, but they are probably, if I would have to guess, they are probably around 50-60 chaos, which means if you're gonna do like 17-18 waves, you are definitely gonna make profit just from farming simulacrums. Maybe it's working again. No, it's not. Okay, so yeah, that's basically simulacrums. You just have a pretty good character and do at least like 17 waves, like I said. 20 is definitely gonna give you enough profit. And yeah, you can see it's right now 85 chaos. That's probably because, like I already said, mapping right now is not in a very good spot, so a lot of people have been moving on to things like simulacrums, which basically led to higher prices of simulacrums. Also, less people are doing delirium strategy, which means less simulacrums in the economy. But yeah, it's still very, very good strategy. Next one is expedition. So either expedition in maps with all of the expedition nodes and expedition scarabs, or just farming logbooks. Logbooks are always very good source of strategy. If you don't really know too much about logbooks, you can do just the 2-gen logbooks, and you can buy some currency from him. This is gonna be just guaranteed profit. You can, for example, buy some chaos orbs. From time to time, you're gonna get the stacked decks, and maybe even some divines.
Always love
Well,
these
no luck this time, but yeah. You know what I mean. On top of that, if you know a little bit about crafting, you can do the rogue. Maybe you're gonna craft some nice item, and obviously you can still gamble for, let's say,
maybe I'll
mage
just
blood or
shuffle
a
these around
headhunter.
and tell
Imagine
you
if
they're
I just got a
different.
mage blood during video. Let me try it out. I have a little bit of artifacts saved up from mostly doing Lake of Calandra. Well, looks like I didn't get anything.
Go well.
Okay, and do not waste time. Let me move on to the other strategy, which is again Heist, but this time it is actually doing Heist like very efficiently with high item level contracts and blueprints. So like I said earlier, you can make money just from doing endless Heist and so on, but once you have a like very good defensive character and you can actually handle doing high tier Heist, so like item level 81 plus, you can make a lot of currency from blueprints. So doing things like gems, replicas, trinkets, and so on. And especially you can do something like buying blueprints like this, which are fully revealed. You can probably buy them for like 50 chaos. And if you look, for example, at blueprint like this one, it has full revealed all of the currency, map, divination cards, so a lot of good rooms. This one has 7 currency, 5 divination. So not all of them are gonna be nice. Like for example, this one is kind of whatever, only 2 currency, everything else is whatever. But yeah, it is hit and miss. If you're gonna do, you can probably just combine it with doing heist in a map. You can just farm your own heist contracts and blueprints, sell the one that you don't feel like running, and run the one that you want to do. But yeah, this is basically on a higher budget. You can also go for a trinket, maybe with divine orbs dropping and so on. And that's basically it. I do feel like if you look at the other like streamers that are making a lot of currency right now, they are either farming simulacrums, invitations, or heist. So these are probably right now top 3 picks in terms of currency making. And if you don't have like a good gear and you can't handle simulacrums and heist, you probably should just stick, I mean not heist, I mean simulacrums and invitation. You should probably just stick to heist, bestiary, blighted maps, or selling contracts from map device mode. As the last thing, I want to talk about a few honorable mentions, which I don't really know too much about. I just assume they are probably pretty good right now. And one thing is Legion. I've seen Grimro is farming a lot of Legion right now, so it just has to be profitable if he's doing it. But with Legion, you have to be sure that you can full clear Legion. So you need a build that has a pretty nice clear. Next thing is Metamorph. Catalysts are historically just very expensive early on in the league. There's not that many of them in the economy. Eventually, there's a lot of them because of things like Simulacrums and Expedition. You can get a lot of them from these mechanics, but early on, they can be pretty expensive. Like for example, let me actually check. Maybe website is working, hopefully. Let's look at the trade. If you look at the catalyst, something like Turbulent, at least 10. Well, looks like website is not working. But later on in the league, you can probably buy like 10 for 1 chaos. Same thing with imbued, they are not that expensive. But early on in the league, each one of them is gonna be worth 1 C. So if you think about it, that's like 10 times worth. So yeah, Metamorph is pretty good early on. And another thing is Blight, but not Blighted maps, just farming Blight in maps. Most of the people are probably doing it in things like Wastepool and also the trade loaded, and as you can see here, even 2C per one. So yeah, they are pretty expensive. Blight is actually pretty good in Wastepool. You can just farm a ton of Blighted maps. Let's actually look at the prices of Blighted map. So at least let's say tier 13 Blighted maps. Well, trade is also not working still, but I would probably assume it's at least 15k. It is unlucky timing for a video, I guess. But yeah, these would be like a strategies that I'm not too sure about. So Legion, Metamorph, and Blight, they're probably pretty good, but I just haven't tried it myself. So yeah, these are my top picks in terms of strategies that people still can do right now. Thanks for watching and see you next time.